I'm Barbie Jones.
And I am Tisha Winkler.
We're the Book Breakers here in Mississippi with special guest Keyonna Redmond and Ragheda Scott.
Woo!
How are you, Miss Redmond and Miss Scott?
Looking fine, feeling fine, just fine. I'm amazing, per usual.
Oh,
We have a special guest in the audience too.
woohoo! So today we are talking about Lynchfield. You say Lynchfield?
Plantation.
Oh, right
Very interesting.
Down in the Delta.
now. Down in the Delta.
How do you get down in the Delta?
Go down.
Go around the wheel. No. Let's start with you, Miss Redmond. Tell the listening audience what you know about Lynchfield.
I know. Well, I've heard that it was just poor dust, but rich in love. I will say that from the stories that I've heard, listening to my parents and my grandmother. So I just like for you, because you're much older, I'd like for you to tell me what happened back on Lynchfield.
Oh, really?
Yes. Interesting.
It's so interesting. I like to know too.
It's interesting that you're going to give us examples of your experience on Lynchfield and the words of the grandmother.
Oh, yes.
On the words of my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what words she gave you.
Our audience want to know what happened in Lynchfield.
So, as I was coming up on Lynchfield, as we call it, we were dirt poor, but we didn't know it. And again, your past does not define who you are, but it does define what it makes you a stronger person, a better person. So never be ashamed of where you came from, because they always tell you to go back to your roots and give back to the community where you came from. So in my upbringing, we didn't know that we were poor.
So at this point, when did you learn that, wow, we were actually poor? Like, what was that light bulb moment for you that said, I was actually poor and didn't even know it?
Well, that light bulb moment for me is when I left home for a job in,
Where did you go?
I was in Maryland.
Oh,
Actually, I went to Maryland for a job. And when I saw or comparing to from when I started working as to when I was there coming up as a child, I said, oh my God, we were poor and we didn't know it. But the thing was about that was the house was always full of love. My mother made sure of that. She would not have any of her children talking bad about one another. That was one thing Miss Scott did not tolerate. No. But it was about love. And comparing the two, I said, oh my God, we were very poor. We didn't.
That's interesting that you say dirt poor, because I do recall hearing stories that you had your own gardens, you had peas and carrots and beans and trees. So, like that in today's world or today's society, that would be considered
You're going.
a form of wealth, because you have your own land, like you're living off the land. So why would you say that you were dirt poor?
Yeah, because we were working in the dirt, and come on, you got to go out there and dig those potatoes, dig the peanuts, plant everything. You're in the dirt. That's dirt poor. But I like the way you said that in regards to your wealth was in what you had. But again, none of that defines you. And if you are not giving back to others, and my mother was she fed everyone. I don't care. One thing about people that are down in Mississippi, or let me just mention Lynchfield, you could be sure you would be fed. You could be sure. you would be sure, you were guaranteed to be fed. If not, you might not get any money or anything like that, but you were guaranteed to be fed. Your belly would be full, you'd be satisfied, and you'd be happy. But because you would feel the love coming from the people who are feeding you and who are around you. And that's the kind of camaraderie that you want to have. Again, I'm saying it my way, even though I felt we were dirt poor, we were. But when I started working for myself, there was a greater satisfaction for me in that instance as creating wealth for myself.
Barbie, I just want to piggyback on something. What can you tell our audience, like what are they going through, or some things? Because you know, a lot of people they have been through similar past experiences, but they're ashamed to talk about it. What would you tell them?
No, this again, your past does not define you. It creates who you are. Now you can let it tear you down, but never let anyone bring you down from what God brought you through or your upbringing, because you would not be the person that you are if you had not gone through the things that you went through. Because each person's circumstance is different from the next person. It depends on, we didn't go jumping out of a window because we didn't have anything, because we didn't even know that we didn't have anything. But we lived off what the land gave us, what the land produced. That's true. Yes. We lived off of that. And we learned how to survive even if there was scarcity in the land. We learned how to survive because there are other things you can, if you don't have any seed to sow a plant for the next season, there are things that naturally sprout from the ground that gives you food to eat. You have to know what's good and what's not, what's poison. But we learn those things as children. You say, like the mushrooms. No. You cannot eat every mushroom. You have to know which one are poison and which ones are not. And there's a kind of simple trick to it. If you take a mushroom, rub on your skin, if it turns yellow, that's a no. You do not eat that one. If you rub the one, it doesn't turn, you're safe. Yellow, no.
I'm glad.
What color does it need to turn in order to be yes?
No, it will turn.
No, what color should it show in your hand in order to be yes?
For it to be yes, long as it's not yellow. Come
Okay.
on. As long as it's not yellow. That means it's not poison.
So as you continue to speak, you say that we were dirt poor. You're saying the things that you're saying is telling me that you have an education. It sounds like you have a degree in agriculture because you can live off the land right now. Like
exactly.
If you were to lose everything right now with the knowledge that you have of living off the land and how to grow plants and how to live off of the mushrooms, like you know what the ingredients are that's going to restore your blood and what is going to benefit your body. So technically, you really weren't poor because you had the plants,
Yes.
you had the love. I mean, you may not have gotten the new clothes and the new shoes, and then you told, and then another thing, I have heard stories that your mother had a plethora of children. So if she could feed those children and other children, I don't think you were poor. I think we need to look at this at another angle.
Well, from my upbringing, on my coming up, that's what I consider dirt poor. But I like where you gave that example. No, we weren't. We were not dirt poor. But that was what was in my head as a kid.
So, I mean, you can change your angle on this retrospect that you have now because maybe you weren't dirt poor. And I would like to hear more of your listeners that are from Mississippi that may have been on the land field that didn't grow plants or they didn't have the lifestyle that you all had. You all also had peanuts and everything, I heard. You all had your own peanut butter. You could have had your own business. It was there. You all just didn't put the two and two together.
Absolutely.
That's what it sounds like.
She should have had her own business. She buys peanuts every day.
You had peanuts. All you had to do was get the jar to make the peanut butter.
All right, yeah. But you know, I learned how to make peanut butter after I left home. I really did. I taught it to the kids. I became a teacher, which was always my childhood dream. I would be the one that would gather everybody. Come on, you guys, we're gonna play school. I'll be the teacher. I was always the teacher. I didn't want nobody else to be the teacher. I wanted to be the teacher.
Okay.
And so we played.
I am so glad that you said that, because a lot of times we go through a lot of things in our life, and sometimes we always thinking that we're going through so many different changes in our life, but that just brought on a light bulb even for me, because even I told you, growing up, I had a lot of love with my family. Everyone always ate, but at the end of the day, because of the circumstances that me and my mother went through, I actually thought we were like poor, but we were just going through at the time.
What circumstances did you go through?
Actually, growing up, my mother always had a real good job. She was making, during that time in the 70s, she was making like $40 an hour. But when I turned 15 years old, she got laid off. So during that time, she got laid off. She really couldn't pay the bills like she could. And she wasn't living that same lifestyle that she was living. And she bought a home, but to come to find out, we had rats in our home.
Oh.
So during that time, not only I was going through poverty, I was going through depression, and we were also going through depression at the same time because of the things that we went through. But it was a life experience for me to never let those situations get in my head, like, oh my God, I went through this, I went through that. But it's a life experience to show someone else, I went through it, and you can too.
It's about it.
Yes.
So Miss Barbie, did that have a negative impact on your mental stability growing up?
Absolutely not, because it made me stronger, actually.
What was the milestone that you had to cross when you was like, I'm going to take this and use it as a stepping stone instead of using it as, I was poor and what was me? Like, how did you look at it, the perspective, and say, I'm going to use it as a milestone to better myself and go into the career that I'm going to go.
Well, as I said, I always wanted to go into teaching, and I did. I went to school, got my degree, and there were times when I was coming home, visiting home on a regular basis. I would gather all the kids in my car and take them to, what is that place called? Sonic's, I think it was.
Y'all had Sonic's back then?
In Lexington.
Oh, okay.
And get everybody a burger and whatever else that they wanted.
Did you have a band?
No, they were all small kids then. And I stick them in the car, then front seat, back seat, and drive down to Sonic's.
Miss Redmond, were you a part of this journey?
I do not recall. I do not recall.
Oh, did you recall Miss Redmond being?
At that time when you weren't. Oh.
Okay, you weren't born yet, so you were not Sonic yet.
Okay. Just check.
Absolutely.
And I definitely wasn't born.
But that would be how I gave back to the community. And during the Christmas time, I would bring a gift for everyone in the family.
Oh wow, that was a big family.
Yes, it was.
And a teacher's salary, that's amazing.
Was it a dollar store?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It
doesn't matter.
They were kids. They enjoyed it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But for those of you that are out there watching, we'd like to hear about your story as well. Again, don't be ashamed of your story.
Yes.
God brought you through it. You're still here above ground. God brought you through it, and it's for a reason. Let someone else know if you went through that and you survived it, they can also come through it without jumping out the window, ending it all like, that's it. No, it's not. Persevere, get stronger, stand, and keep moving. That's how we see it.
A question. I wanted to know, Miss Keyonna, what was your experience in Lynchfield?
Honey, I didn't grow up on Lynchfield. They had already moved to town when I came along, but I just heard stories. But I do remember visiting Lynchfield because my uncle stayed out there, a little longer, and he still had that outhouse. Thank God he didn't come on the town. But yeah, he still lived out there, and I was just, amazed at how he wanted to live like that, you know, in that old house and still had that outhouse. And I'm, you know, just looking back now that I'm older, my children think I was born in the Stone Age.
Uh-oh.
So when I tried to tell them things like when I used to get off the bus, grandmother always had a garbage bag full of quilt pieces. I had to get out of that bus with and make quilts and shell peas while all my other friends are running around town. And while then I did not appreciate it as much, you know, that's some things that I miss now. Yeah, but
Absolutely.
I do have good memories with my grandmother, you know, and I just thought she was being mean because I couldn't go, because I had to learn to make biscuits and stuff. And now I don't know how to make biscuits.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying? But so those are the things I miss. And I kind of wish I did visit Lynchfield in their time, you know. Yeah, in their times, because I heard, you know, a lot about that bad spot in the road that how they had to navigate and look out for each other. But
Absolutely.
Did you have roller skates?
What roller skating? Let me tell you something. We didn't have toys. We made our toys. It put in you creativity. Yes, it did.
Oh, that's why you
These
make
people-
that's why you make stuff now.
That is why I
Okay.
make stuff now.
Are you
I
an
build
architect,
things.
Queen?
I'm an architect.
Yes, you
Okay,
Call it that. Whatever.
that's amazing.
Whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. I don't care what it is. If you want to do brain surgery, you can do it. Put your mind to it. You can do it. I wanted to build. I wanted to work with my hands. That's what I did. Because it instilled creativity in us. We didn't have the toys. Like the money wasn't very plentiful, I want to say. At that time when I was coming up, and we weren't kids that got toys every day or every week or once a month. You barely got toys at Christmas.
it was a lot of y'all, right?
My mother had 17 of us. 2 of them died. I want to say 2-3 days after birth. So she had a couple of twins. But in all, it was 17 of us that she had.
And she was still able to feed the community? That's amazing.
Absolutely.
And Honey was raising a community.
Yes. And you have parents today can't raise one child?
Oh, boy.
I'm sorry, I have to say it.
Oh, God. But she instilled that, and she instilled the giving in us because that's what she did. She would not let anyone go hungry. If they said, oh, can I have some of those peas? Can I have some of those potatoes? Can I have some of those peanuts? She would give it, readily give it. I mean, there was plenty. For us, there was plenty of food. There was plenty.
And they ate a lot.
Miss Keyonna, I had a question for you.
Okay.
What are some things that people can do today to get through trauma?
At a young age.
Yes.
I'm still trying to figure that out. But as I am navigating trauma and grief, I would say definitely prayer.
Yes.
I have a great support system. It's just 2 of us, and my sister and I are very, very close. My husband and I married into a great family, so my in-laws are very, very supportive. I have a few friends that I have met, you know, along life's journey, and I don't use that friend thing easily, you know. So I do have a great, strong support system that understand that some days I'm not myself. Some days I can't talk. So those that know me get it. They allow me my space, you know, as I navigate this journey that I'm on. And my children are wonderful. I wouldn't be, my children are wonderful, all 7, 8 of them, however many I have. But they are wonderful. I mean, you know, I heard 4, but I inherited some from my husband.
Okay.
And they are my children. And so, so they are great. They're great. They've made this. We don't use the term stepmom.
Exactly.
So we blended well, and they knew once I took them on, you don't ever have to like me. You will respect me, and I will rear you just as my own. So we've done well with that, and like I said, just support, and prayer. And that's how I'm managing trauma. Three. Yes.
And I'm glad you said that because, well, my story is I've been through a lot of trauma and I've been through a lot of depression. And a lot of times, even at a young age, I would try to mask it. But now I try to just help others. And God has brought that support system, including Barbie. Because some of them days when I'm like getting ready, she's like, girl, get it together, pray. We're going to get to stay up. But I just thank God for the support system that He brings our way. Because without that support system, sometimes we may fall apart. But God gives us what we need.
Every
Every
time,
time.
absolutely.
So, Miss Ragheda,
Yes.
what's your way of dealing with trauma?
Oh.
Other than that, what did you tell me?
I don't think I have one specific way of dealing with trauma. I'm very much so an introvert, and I'm one who's going to seclude myself from everyone until I am at a level where I am not a toxic version of myself for other people. So if I'm toxic for me, if I feel like I'm not at a good state of mind to be good for you, then I won't be around you. So I go into seclusion. It may be a few hours, it may be a day, it may be a few weeks. But I will go into seclusion, and I think I have gotten better at doing it. It's not as long now, but I do pray. I am one who fully supports Sarah Jakes Roberts, so I watch her sermons from sun up to sundown. I read my scriptures and mostly just go into seclusion until I'm better me for others, and then I'll come back out and I'm a ray of sunshine again.
All right, thank you, because I like your bubbly self
I
like
like
this.
Can I sing that song?
No.
Okay.
But I want to say this. I like the way you think, though. I like it. That's great. I like the way you think in regards to not being toxic for someone else, and you remove yourself from the situation. So this for our listening audience. Come on, if you're going through, don't bleed on someone else, because that's shedding that toxicity into their life. And sometimes you don't know what someone else is going through. They may be smiling on the outside, but a lot of people are suffering in silence on the inside. Even though they're in a crowd, you don't know what that person is going through. They may, like again said, they may be smiling, but they can be hurting on the inside. And that brings to my mind a book that I wrote that's entitled In the Church, but Hurting. And at that time, I thought I was writing a fiction. And then I ran something by my sister. She said, oh my God, that's so and so like. See, God, people say God He will keep a secret. God don't keep secrets. I don't know who told you that not. God is about exposing. Come on. He's about exposing those little secrets that you want to keep. He's not about covering them up. He's not your buddy, your pal, he's your friend in that kind of way. Because he said, come to me. We can bring anything to him. Cast our cares on him because he cares for us. And he cares so much that he will let somebody else know your business and send them to you to get it right. But it's up to you to accept that word. And well, I'm going to say it how it is. Repent of whatever it is you're doing and turn to him. And to end this last part, when God had called me into the ministry, I ran. I didn't want to be a minister. I didn't want to preach. I didn't want to do none of that. Just let me go to church, be a good steward in whatever they wanted me to do in the church. That was it. That was my part. That was what I wanted to do. I would witness. No, I would witness and talk to other people, but don't tell me to preach. I ain't want to do that. But God has a way of bringing you right back to where he needs you to be. Because at that time, I started getting sick in my body. My blood was not being built up. and I was passing out. I was at the verge of passing out. I didn't want to tell my son. He was only 7 years old at the time, but I had to tell him to let him know what was going on with me. And I taught him how to drive. And I told him if anything happens to me, if I slump in the car, get the wheel. Just get the wheel, get assist safety. And there was one day I was in the car driving, and I did that. It scared me to no end. I said, God, he had to pull the car over to the side of the road, and I was on the beltway at the time. So he pulled the car up to the side of the road. I didn't go all the way out, but I slumped because I was weak. I didn't have any energy. I didn't. And I said, God, I almost killed myself and my child. I could have killed someone else. I said, okay, God, whatever you want me to do, I'll do. But just heal me of this. Because the doctors were saying there is no cure. I was going to die. That was their thing. I was going to die. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But just to let you know that God is a miracle working God. He turned it around. There were no doctors. They couldn't help me. They couldn't do anything. He turned it around. My blood started building back up. And this is literally documented at Walter Reed Army Medical Center, that all of this happened. And so when I gave God my real and final yes, my life turned. So whatever he tell me to go do, I'm doing it. Whatever he tell me to say, I'm going to say. I don't care who you are. If you don't like it, don't receive it. I got to get the blood off my hands, because he said if I don't, he's going to require the blood at my hands. So I want my hands clean. I want my hands clean. And our upbringing, that ain't Jesus. Our upbringing has a lot to do with our spiritual walk with God. And did you have something else?
No, I wanted to piggyback on something for our audience. You were talking about In the Church for Her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of my favorite books that you have written. Not because you just written, because I'm a model too in that book.
Oh, you're on the cover.
I just want to put the spill out.
Oh, God. So, Ms. Ragheda, Ms. Redmond, do you all have any more questions for about Lanchfield?
Do you want to move back to Lanchfield?
Heck no.
Why not? It's so nice down here.
Do you ever think about moving back to Mississippi?
No, that ain't what God said. I'll visit more often, though.
Thank you.
Wow, that's amazing. I love to hear that.
And let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Because I felt something last night with the camaraderie. We were all in the room talking and saying, I said, oh my God, you guys opened my eyes. I'm really serious. You guys
I'm
opened
happy to
my
hear
eyes.
it.
Well, go give her a hug. Go give her a hug. Well, reconciliation, love, all right.
Let them come up there and call it in. Oh, we on the line.
Yeah, we still on the line. So,
So what was the light bulb moment for you last night, Miss Barbara?
all of you played a part in what you were saying. Yes, and when you were saying I left and you never saw me again. Oh God.
Well,
And then
I think that those are really big abandonment issues that we have.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
I can say that I have abandonment issues because at first we used to be so family oriented, like every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, every 4th of July, every family reunion year, we we would convene with each other and we would exchange gifts, and like all of my grandmother's kids would come home, and it was so family oriented. And then once we started scattering, it did feel very much like abandonment. Like my children don't even know half of their aunts and uncles.
Right.
They've never met them before. So I mean, I did get I became, I guess, just, I was like, okay, whatever, it's whatever with the situation for a long time. And then you know, like you said, God will open your eyes and like He will tell you like, okay, you're not listening, but He will open your eyes and tell you that this is what you need to be doing. So that's why this year, you know, I've been more hands-on with my family, and I've been more extrovert with my family because the old me was like, I'm not calling those people. I want I would definitely be that way, but it is an eye opener for me as well. So I'm going to do a lot better with my family. I'm going to be a loving individual. And I can snatch y'all up. Y'all not too old. I can be your mother. I can definitely be her. So I can snatch y'all up. I'm not afraid of y'all now. I can run now. Y'all can't move me no more.
Oh my God.
Mm-mm.
And for you, Miss Redmond, what was your eye-opening moment?
My eye-opening moment was December 9th when I lost my oldest son.
Oh.
And so, and I've been telling people since then, that was the most humbling, eye-opening experience because I'm a hard mother, I'm a fair mother, but I'm a loving mother. My son was 25. I talked to him the day he passed. Everything was okay. And to get off work and know my son is gone, and it was like 25 short years.
Right.
Like, so that day I said, y'all, we gotta do better as a family, because 25 it seemed like, you know, it wasn't long enough. So from then on, and my sister never left my side, but it was like, we got to do better. And then here we are a few months later, burying two more family members. So when we used to be so close knit.
Right.
So I would say December 9th opened my eyes like fully, like you can be here and you can be okay. And people don't always look like what they go through.
Exactly.
So I would say that opened my eyes. I don't have the energy for anything else. So it's like family, love. I like to have fun, and I just want to see everybody. I think that because grandma was that pillar that held us together. So held us all up, and I want us to get back there because I mean, as we know, time is definitely not long, and it's not waiting.
Tomorrow's not promised.
Definitely, the end of the day is not, because I mean, I was headed to meet my child when I got a phone call that he was gone. It's just, yes. So we have to cherish each other, cherish the moments, and just be there for each other because we don't know what people are going through. And we don't know why people stray away. So,
But I'm here to, you know, snatch back.
Snatch back.
Whatever your reason for straying away, I'm here to snatch you back as the vice president of the family.
Oh, okay. All right now.
I feel like I'm part of the family.
You fit right in.
Did they adopt it?
Yes, you are.
I think had you come a while back, we probably wouldn't have been accepted. But now, like, we're all loving and caring now.
So God knew the right time.
Yes, this has been a great, I mean, I hate the circumstance, but it has been great, a more fulfilling week. Very much.
And so have I.
And the food been awesome.
Yes, it is. Come down to Mississippi.
You
Down
had no need to visit any restaurants.
I kept looking at KFC. She's like, girl, get your head in the car.
Miss T was like, "Are we gonna go to any restaurants? Maybe Hardy." I said, "Hardy's at home."
We get in the kitchen when we get together, we eat.
Yes, we do.
Season food. Hardy's ain't got nothing on those. None of the restaurants do. But it was an amazing experience, and to what Keyonna was saying, December 9th was an eye opener for me as well. We actually discussed it where I told her that I could, on that day, I could reminisce on the whole year where I feel like God was trying to get my attention, but I wasn't listening. I was like, family. I can't say what I want to say. I can't say what I want to say, but it is a famous line from Soul Food. Family. But I'm not gonna say it. But that's your homework. Look it up. So throughout the year, it was a long journey where I do feel like now that it was God trying to get my attention and like, go home with your family. And I'll never forget I haven't been home to any family function in years. I know for at least 5 years. And I remember on Thanksgiving Day, my sister texted me. No, the night before Thanksgiving, she texted me. She's like, "Are you all coming home for Thanksgiving?" And I said, "Probably not." And I remember ordering pizza for my kids on pre-Thanksgiving because I was like, I'm not cooking. I'm not gonna have a turkey. I'm not doing that. So I ordered pizza, and then that was gonna be our dinner for Thanksgiving Day. So I got it around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, something kept speaking to me like, you need to go home. You need to go home. You need to go see your family. And I was like, what is going on? And I initially text her no. And then I text her about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, I'm coming. So I came home, and that was actually the last day that I saw my nephew, which is her son. Mm-hmm. So I saw him that day, and I met with family. We actually had a good time, but I actually met with a lot of family that day, and I just appreciate, just me listening on that day. So it did open my eyes on December the 9th because I saw him in November. But on December the 9th, it was, like, yeah, you've been slipping up, but I'm definitely wide awake now, and they'll definitely get tired of me because the vice president, she's ready. My green light is on, so be ready. My green light is on.
All right, I like that green light.
It's
the
on.
Green light stay on.
The green light is on. I'm ready.
Oh, good. For our listening audience and those of you who are writing in, we'd love to hear your comments and we'll read them and respond back to you. So this brings us, are we at a close? We are at a close. Yes.
Oh, yes. We're at a close. It has been so awesome. And we just thank you, Miss Keyonna. And Regina.
We'll definitely have a part 2.
Yes.
For the follow-up questions and comments.
So we thank you for joining us, for all of our listening audience. As usual, we can't do without you, and much love to you. Join us next time. I'm Barbie Johnson.
And I am Miss Tisha Winkler.
We're the Book Breakers here with Miss Keyonna Redmond and Miss Ragheda Scott about Lightsville.
Down in the Delta.
And how to get over trauma.
Yes. So we appreciate you and thank you for watching.
And our motto is,
we encourage you to accomplish your dreams.
keep dreaming.
Happy
Bye-bye.